Alright, so now that we have our image plane set up, let's go ahead and bring in our cube. We can come right up here and grab the polygon or the poly modeling section and grab the actual cube here, or hold down our shift key, right click, and we can select it from this way. So the shift key and a right click is going to give you access to your primitives and other modeling tools. So, or modeling objects, I should say. You can look right down here. We've got platonic solid and pyramid and prisms and so forth, but we'll explore those later. Let's grab the cube. It places it inside. Now let's go ahead and move this upward toward the hammer. So hit the W key for the move tool, grab the Y axis only and place it right in here. Let's go take a look at the 4 up views, hit the space bar, and let's go over to the side view, and my move command is still targeted. And if we come over here, put my cursor here, you can see, alright, that looks pretty good. That's fairly centered. So let's go back to the 4 up view. Now, if we get in closer, hit the F key on my keyboard, that zooms into the selected object. It's kind of a pain to see your reference back here, primarily because your box is fairly solid. It's fairly opaque. Let's change up the view just a little bit here. On the very top of your screen, you're going to see a few options. If you target take a look at your aperture with your little, numerical settings here, and just go to the left here, and 1, 2, 3 to the left of that, you're going to see this little symbol. It looks like an intersecting symbol, but what this is doing is it's giving you like a visual intersection between your object and your background plane. If we target this here, what we're able to do is see through it. So it's brought down the opacity of the box a little bit, but also it's maintained your edges. All right, so it really helps you to see how to model your object in relationship to your reference. So from either view. All right. Now let's make sure we actually do that. And I'm going to suggest one other thing as well. I'm going to hit the space bar, and let's go ahead and hit Shift F. That'll fit all in view. These are the same way, so I'm going to recommend that we also apply the same to the ones on the bottom. All right. So now we may have to go to your window screen. I'm going to go right here, this middle bar that divides up my panels, and bring it over to the right, and that's where you're going to see your intersection or your X-ray view here. It gets hidden sometimes with these panels, or you can actually get out of the attributes panel, come up here to the channels. That'll move these way over, and you can see your X-ray view here. So I'm going to set X-ray for all of these. Okay. All right. So if you hit the Shift F view, it's going to fit all into the screen. And let's go and start doing some modeling on this one. Let's come over to the side, go back to my attributes editor. Right at the very top, we have several cubes. We can go to our poly cube number 1, because this is a primitive with the ability to have subdivisions all built inside it. So I want to give each one, let's start with 2 for the width, height, and the depth. Okay, and I'm keeping everything simple. So when you actually do modeling to model more sophisticated objects, I always start with something very, very basic, very simple. It's really going to make your life a lot easier. Now, here's my thought process here. Let's go over here and view the side view. I'm going to bevel this out. So I'm going to use this standard rectangular primitive to kind of bevel out and create my shapes in both directions. So I want the left and the right hand side to possibly just be placed right over here. So if I hit my R key, I'm going to just stretch it like so. And then I'm also going to stretch it downward a little bit. Pull it back. Alright. So the base of my camera, hit the W to move it. So there we go. So the base is going to be right down over in here. Let's go ahead and hit the R key again. And I can stretch it up, hit W again on the keyboard. Okay, that's going to work. Now let's go take a look at it from the on the front view here. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go over here and hit my R key and probably stretch it in a little bit like so. And let's go fill the screen with this one. And this we're going to have to use our imagination because the hammer wasn't really photographed completely straight on. So we're going to have to allow for a little bit of inconsistencies. We'll bring it like so. All right. Let's go back and look at all 4 views. All right. So again, I'm going to move around. Okay, it's looking pretty good. So I'm looking to the front here in perspective view. All right. Going to the side. All right. So it's this image planes are really nice to work with. Now I'm noticing from the very top view here. And actually, let's go back. Let's go to here, and because I don't have a top view, this is off a little bit, so we're not on the 0, 0 axis. Let's take a look at my object, and it doesn't matter because the actual position of the thickness of the handle is not going to be on the 0, 0 axis. So let's not get too anal about this here. All right, now let's create some shapes out of this. I want to bevel this outwards. I think what's going to help is if I go to component mode, and you can either come right up here, and it's the second set of tools from the left. There's your first set here, second set of tools, and it's this one here, or it's the F8 key on your keyboard. So the F8, so we hit the F8 key, that's the shortcut for toggling between your component mode, which is selecting the individual points, edges, and polys, or you can go to your object selection view, which selects your entire object. Okay. All right. So we're going to go back so we can select the individual objects. And how about if we start from the back end here? Okay. Let's go to the perspective view. Let's make life easier on ourselves. And I'm targeting my edges. If I right click and hold, I'm going to want to select, definitely select these the polygons here. Okay, so let's hit the Q key on the keyboard. Let's go select their faces here. So I'm simply going to right click here, grab my face. If you're using a walking pen, your pen is hovering above your pad or your screen if you're using the Cintiq, and your bottom click and hold, and you can select your edges, vertex, or faces, or your attributes. So I'm going to select it, shift select on all 4 of these. I'm going to rotate this around just to make sure though that is the only thing selected. Now we're going to bevel this out here. What I'm going to do is simply use my resizing tool. Okay, so I'm going to go to my R key for the resize. Now, right here is my planar restriction command. That little blue plane face there, small little blue shape. I'm going to hold down the shift key, and you notice that extrude symbol comes out next, right below your cursor, which is going to allow you to extrude some more shapes. So we're basically beveling this out. So I'm going to place it down about as large as I think I need to be. Hit the W key, and then pull this on out. Okay, so if you come down here to the front view or the side view, you can see what we're doing. If I want to be more accurate about it, I can hit the R key again, stretch it out a little bit more, hit the W, pull it down to kind of match the actual shape there. Okay. And I think it's meant to be symmetrical, so again, this photograph isn't perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as such. Okay. Alright, so I might go ahead and just make this a little thinner like so. Alright, that works out quite nicely. So I'm going to extrude another shape out of here, hit the W key, and again hold the shift key, extrude this at the bottom of your cursor, and pull it out this way. Okay. And then from here we're going to start making what would be the ball shape. Now I want to check something out real quick. Notice that I'm mostly making a rectangle here. This eventually is going to be, have rounded edges. And the way you accomplish that, and I'm going to come over here, is, and zoom in. The way you accomplish that is you hit the number 3 key on your keyboard. And what that's going to do is going to give it a subdivision surface type of a quality. All right, it's rounded it off, creating a type of a NURB type of a surface. If I want to go back to my polygon, my hard modeling mode, instead of 3, you're going to hit 1, and it takes you back. So number 1 on the keyboard, number 3 on the keyboard, and number 1 on the keyboard. So what I could have done is I could have started making a little bit of a rounded edge to make this more accurate from the beginning. And it's usually a good thing to do is when you start defining your shapes before you start extruding other shapes from what you have selected. So I'm going to hit Command Z and go backwards. All right, hit my undo and go backwards. Okay, now we're here. So once here, let's just go back again. Let's go back to the plane. There we go. All right, so this is right on the front face. Now let's go and target those edges here. All right, so with the right click, go grab the vertices, target this one, shift to multiple select. Okay. Now R key for my resize, go to my planar view and resize it like so. Okay, making sense? So I'm going to click anywhere to deselect. Now I want to select these points here. So we're still in the point editing mode. So go to the Q key. Actually, I'm going to go down to my select tool here. And let's see if I can just select these points. Just draw. It's my freehand selection tool. There it is. I want to deselect these points in the middle. So Control key and select them. And I'm going to give this a nice little rotation. Let's go and move this around just to make sure those are the only points selected. Okay. And let's go to another view here just to make things easier. We're going to go right over here to the front view, hit the R key, and just swoosh it down like so. So it's a little bit more. All right, and we may want to make that slightly larger as well. So I'm going to go right to this plane here and just make it, enlarge it along that face. All right, let's go over here to the side view. There it is. Hit the W key and pull it on out. All right, so what has happened here is I forgot to select my center point there. So I'm going to go back, just undo, there we go. And we're going to come back, hit my Q key to select, hold my Shift key, grab that center point along with the others, but make sure that this center point up here is not selected. So go right here to my selection tool again, and let's go deselect that one over here. So Control key, grab it, that's deselected. Now we can go back to this point with the W for our move. There's our widgets. There we go. That's more of what I'm looking for. Okay, so we kind of go to this view here, kind of match it up. So this is accurate. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So again, the photograph isn't perfect. I'm going to make it more symmetrical in this case. Let's go back up here to perspective view. See? So we're basically starting to get this shape rounded off. So I started the rounding before I pulled it out. I think just visually to me it looked better. We don't have a top view to be completely accurate, but we're gonna wing it here. Let's go ahead and extrude out of this here. So I'm going to deselect everything. All right, and let's go and grab the face option. Let's extrude a shape out of that. Hold down your Shift key grab the, go. So we have a little bit of an extrusion there to represent kind of the neck of the back end before it gets into this little small, I don't know what this is called, but the little ball head here of the hammer. And now we're going to start making a sphere out of this shape. Okay, let's pull it on back this way. Now let's go have some fun. We're going to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my, that's the 3 key. I don't want to do that. Let's go back to the 1. I'm going to go and utilize my command for, for resizing. Hold down the shift key, and I think what I'm going to do is just do this. There we go. See that? Pulling it out a little bit. Hit the W. Pull it out. See what's happening there? All right. So a lot of what you're going to be using is a lot of extrusions and resizing when you're making models. Hit the space bar, and I'm going to try to match this as best as possible. Let's go over here to the side view, and this is slightly above, and why not take it down? So why not come over here, go to my arrow tool, or hit the Q key on the keyboard. Actually, let's go over here to my selection tool and just select all these polys right there. Hit the V key. Let's just move it down like so. It matches the photograph a little better, so it's just a lot easier to manipulate this way. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and make some more extrusions. And you're going to be bouncing back and forth between these views, just as I'm doing now. It's really going to help you. Let's get in close. Okay, deselect. Go ahead and target these polys right in front again, and we're going to make more extrusions. So hit my R key, shift, pull it out, over here to this view, W. Okay, and let's go back to the center there. I should be able to pull that on down. Let's go to the perspective view to make sure I'm doing this all correctly. I think so. Alright, let's extrude that out again, and this time let's go over to just the move tool. Hold down the shift, pull it on out. Now just get your resize, bring it down. Alright, move again, shift, extrude it out. And I'll do one in between here. R key, pull it down. Okay, and we'll do one more. Okay, and why not? We'll just go to stay in this mode, hold down the shift key, and that will, oops, that extrudes it out already. And let's get the W. And I did too many extrusions here, so I have to go back. Go back, go back. Okay, so with this targeted, I have that one. Let's go to W, shift, extrude out. There we go. R. So let's go to shift R, set that into view. Let's go to this view here. And how about if we grab this and just bring it smaller? W, bring it on in. Let's take a look at it from the side. That's not bad. Okay, that works. Let's deselect it by clicking anything and everything. Let's go to the perspective view. Let's hit the A key to fit it all in view. Actually, hit the F key to fit the F key. Looks good. Deselect everything. Okay, there we go. So now we're getting somewhere here. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Let's pull this on back. So if I hit the 3 key on the keyboard, it's going to give you your rounded subdivision surfaces. Okay. And of course, we can add more edges in here. I'll share that with you a little bit later to make this a little more accurate. Okay, real nice, isn't it? Pretty fun stuff. Now that's going to do the exact same thing to the other side. Let's bring it around. Okay. Let's bring the edges. Now I'm going to go hit my 1 key to go back to our polygon, standard polygon mode here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to target all of those. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit our E key. Not the E key, but the Shift key. Extrude it on out. R key. Pull it on in. Okay. See, it's starting to get fun, isn't it? And this is where I'm going to start actually playing with rounding off to accommodate this more circular from the more square or the cubical of the shape. So I think what I'm going to do is bring this forward a little bit more before I do so. Right about there. Hit my R key just to resize it in just a little bit. Alright, so let's go and select our vertexes. 1. Holding the Shift key. 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 that I'm interested in. Okay. Let's go right over here to the side or to the front view. And let's go to our R key for resizing and pull those in to get a type of a rounded shape. Okay. So once those are targeted, I'm going to target a couple of others. Let's go to our perspective view for that. I think it'll be a lot easier. Let's go grab this point here, Shift, and grab that point there with a Shift. And let's go back to the front view, and we can kind of, now this one should be larger than the other side. Okay, and we're going to go and take a look at it. Shift F, fit them all in the views, and hit A. Shift A fits all in the view. Okay, I'm going to stay in this one here, hit the F key. Alright, see the neck is much larger, isn't it? Especially if they come over to here. Let's go hit the F key here. That's I brought it down too small, so that's okay. So grab the center and just resize it straight on up. It's all in the right place. We haven't really extruded it out yet. That's working. Just gotta make sure everything is there. Yep, it is. So I think from here we can go ahead and do an extrusion. So once selected, I'm going to hit my move command, hold the Shift key, and do the same thing. Oops, I'm in points, aren't I? We have to undo that. There we go. Alright, let's go back to our command. Oops. Let's bring that back. Hit the R key. Sorry about that. I'm not paying attention. There we go. There we go. We had points selected. And I also have the wrong point selected, so I'm going to have to go back again. So Command Z, there we go. We forgot to target the top 2 points. So I'm going to deselect them all and take a look at what I've done here. Look like I've got something in here that I made a mistake on. So I'm going to go back. So we're going to undo. I didn't see this one here. And don't worry, you're going to make these mistakes. It's good you see me making the mistakes. Okay, now see what happened here? I had something selected I should not have had selected. I had a side panel here. So I'm going to go back and do this again. And that's okay. So if I hit Command Z, okay, make sure everything. Now, Control, I'm going to make sure, now the points are targeted. And what I'm going to do is deselect everything, go to my vertex, and let's go get those 4 points originally that we had here. So we're going to make an extrusion, but before we do so, there it is. All right, let's make an extrusion. Face, target it. Okay, and it's important to move it around to make sure that I didn't accidentally choose something I didn't want to choose. Alright, go to my move tool, shift, extrude it out, right about there. Let's resize it, R, go to the center, resize it down. Okay, everything's looking good. This is about where I want to round this shape off a little bit. So let's deselect everything, go to my vertex, and let's grab those 4 points only. So I'm going to do this in perspective view. I can go to the side and I can see which points I want to target a lot easier and not accidentally select ones that I don't want to select. Okay, go to my front view here, and let's go ahead and bring these on in. So simply hit the R key for my resize. I'm going to resize it right there, like so. Just basically rounding it off. And that's good. Now I'm also going to target these other 2 points. So Shift, Select, Shift, Select. But I'm going to go back to perspective just to make darn sure I didn't accidentally select anything else. And it looks like I have not. Okay, and the goal here was basically to kind of stretch it down a little bit to round it off. Okay, now if I go to the center, I should be able to stretch everything back up. But let's get it rounded off first. And I have to make darn sure I have this one selected there. Now, if you think that these points are not quite planar, they're not quite aligned, let's go to your side view here. And it looks like it's pretty aligned. If you just click and drag in either direction with this, it'll line it up for you. It'll line up, it'll make all those points planar. Let's go to the center here, bring it out. That looks good. Let's go to perspective view just to get a nice three-dimensional view. Oops, I think that one of my points are out of alignment there. I think we can just grab that one and just bring it on back. So that will be a good exercise. Let's go ahead and do so. Deselect them all, grab that one point, hit the W key, and just pull that on out. And I'm just eyeing it here. Matter of fact, if you just go to the front view here, and we compare it to the other, probably something that's not, they're both not completely symmetrical anyway. And it doesn't have to be. Alright, let's go to the perspective view. Looking good. So let's go ahead and extrude another shape. Let's go ahead and deselect everything. Right click, go to my object, not object mode, but my face mode. And let's grab the right faces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And turn it around. Let's go to this view here. E key, not E key, but the W key, which I'm already in the move tool. Hold the shift and extrude it out. Let's turn it around, take a look at it. Yep, everything's looking good. You have to get in the habit of constantly rotating around your model, because you may have selected something somewhere and didn't notice, and your object is starting to get distorted. Now we're going to create our little rounded head here. But this one's more flat in the front. So this is going to bevel upwards and then come straight out flat. And again, I'm just looking at my reference here. It's going to come straight out flat. And there's going to have a slight rounded tip, and then it's going to be flat again, approximately. So we're going to accomplish that. Alright, so let's go ahead and extrude another shape out of here. So hit the Shift key. Alright, hit the R key. Grab that center one to, reshape this. That's looking good. So far, so good. Let's stay in perspective mode. And let's go ahead and get my model back there. There we go. I'm just going to pull back a little bit. Alright, let's go. Now this needs, probably pull this out a little more. Alright, I'm going to give it a little bit of a little more of a bevel here. So, access my Shift key, bevel it out again, W, pull it like so. Now we're going to go straight. Everything's looking good. I'm going to come straight on out. We're in the Move tool, extrude, and just pull it straight on out like this. Okay, let's see what I did. I'll make sure I didn't accidentally mess something up here. That's looking good. We'll do the same thing for the front. Give it a little bit of a bevel. Shift, pull it out for the slight bevel. R, grab the center, pull this down. Okay. That looks pretty good, but I want to do, I'm thinking I'm going to want this to come out a little bit more. Let's go to the side view here. Yeah, that's what we're looking at, is a shadow underneath this, so I think this is going to work just fine. Let's go ahead and just deselect everything. Let's just grab these front faces here. So I'm going to go over here to my selection tool and just grab those. There. Okay, I want to deselect these back here. So if I get in a little bit closer, okay, bring on back. I want to deselect these edges here. So if let's go back to perspective so you can see a little easier. Okay, these little edges I want gone. So if you're going to use your selection tool, hold your Control key down and just select those edges there. Okay, done. And the reason I did so is I just want to extrude one more extrusion. Go to the R key, Shift, just to help control that edge a little better, like so. Okay, is all making sense? Great. Let's turn off the, there we go. I'm going to turn off the X-ray view so we can kind of get a view of what we're doing here. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Bring this around. We're actually getting a hammer here. Hit the number 3 key on the keyboard, and there we are. It's rounding it off. And the reason I added that extra geometry in the front here, in the front of that hammer, is kind of bring this around, because it looked like the front of the hammer was beveled out. It's a slight little curve. So if I kind of grab, let's go grab the vertex, grab a single vertex, go to my Move tool, and if I pull that out slightly, it gives it a slight little bow. And that's what I was seeing in the front of that hammer. Wasn't much of a bow. It was just a slight little bow from all the use. Okay, deselect everything. Let's pull this back. Okay, not bad. I'm looking at. Let's go back to X-ray view here so we can see get our reference. Get that little symbol there. We don't have a top view, so we're kind of winging it here. But now we're going to bring down, create the bottom of the hammer. Okay. So we're definitely going to want to go over to our face mode, select these four here, right on the bottom. We're going to extrude that out. Okay. Now you could just model. You see here, accidentally selected that one. I got to be careful. Hold the Command or Control key down and select it. And you can see your 3D widget jumps to the center of those four polys. If your widget jumps somewhere where you don't expect it, then make sure you double check to make sure you don't have something selected that you didn't want selected. Alright, let's go ahead and make an extrusion out of this one. Hold the Shift key and just pull it out a little bit. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, it's still in Subdivision Surfaces mode. I like to work in the standard polygon mode, and that's going to make that way it'll help you to see easier how you should pull the shapes and scope the shapes in a standard linear way. If it looks good in the standard a non-NURBS mode, if it looks good in standard poly mode, it's going to look great when you go to the NURBS mode, okay, or this subdivision surface mode. If you haven't already saved your work, it's a good time to do so now. Command or Control S, alright, and save it inside your scenes folder. Alright, so if I go to my file menu, I can go to my save as, and I have images. I'm inside of my Maya, my hammer folder. Here's my images. Let's go ahead and make a brand new folder. Come right up here to the top right hand corner, target new folder, and we're going to call it scenes. Double click inside that folder. We're going to call it hammer. It'll be a .maya file, MB file. Save as. All done. Alright, let's go take a look at this just very quickly. Kind of take the X-ray view off. Alright, so we have not bad looking at all, and still a very simple shape. If I hit the 3 key on the keyboard, it'll give us our subdivision surfaces, and if I hit the 1 key, it'll take us back to our polygon surface. I want to add another group of polygons here. We're going to extrude the hammer handle right from the bottom, but I like to have those four the 4 rectangles to define the entire handle shape. So I want to put in another division of along this line of a loop. So all these polygons put together and they connected to one another is considered a loop. So I want to add like a loop slicer in here. So to do so, I'm gonna come over to Mesh Tools, and we have Insert Edge Loop. Okay, and if I select this one edge, there we go. You can see that those sections are going to be selected. Okay, so take my cursor and click on that edge, and it's showing you where that loop is being established there. So I can move it with just a click down and hold with your left click, or tap down and hold with your cursor. I'm going to place it where I want this slicing to begin. So it's creating an edge loop by adding more polys, another slice here along the loop of the polys, and release, and there they are. Okay, and then from this we can go ahead and we can start the modeling our handle. Alright, let's go to our Q key and face view. Let's target these 4. Let's make sure nothing else is selected. Oh, and there is. You have to be careful. There we are. I'm going to do this once again. Target 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, it's looking good. So now, let's go ahead and start creating a handle out of this here. So, I'm going to hold my shift key. Actually, hit the R key first. Hold my shift key down and grab the planer option and pull this on in like so. Okay? That's good enough. Now let's go back to our X-ray view so we can see what we're doing in relationship to the model. Go right at the top here, hit that little button. Okay, there's X-ray, and we can see what we're doing here. So there's our handle. So looking at the handle, it looks as if, let's kind of pull this back a little bit. I'm probably going to want this a little bit larger along the bottom. So like the bottom may be a little bit of a wider face than on the top. That's not an issue, so we're going to go right over here and select all of these polys. Let's go select everything here in the bottom. Grab this and make darn sure that this top section is not being targeted. Okay, everything's deselected. I'm going to come over here and just widen it a little bit, just kind of basing it from what I'm seeing in this view. Now, I'm going to widen it out from the center a little bit. There we go. Let's bring it out like so. Let's get rid of them. Let's go to my vertex view. And let's go grab these 4 little corners here very quickly. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just checking to make sure nothing else is selected that should not be. Go to my R key, planar view. I'm going to stretch it so it has a little more of a rounded shape. So this handle, going to my view, it's going to be a little longer on the x-axis. So let's go grab the other points. Holding the shift key, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm missing one right there. There it is. And I'm missing this one right here. Okay. Command or Control gets rid of that one. It looks like my widget is centered precisely. And as I assess, it's probably stretched a little longer this way. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Okay, so let's go this way. Stretch it out a little longer. That looks good. And we can see the basic shape that we're going to shoot the handle from. Let's go ahead and get rid of our points. And then let's go grab your faces. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all we need is 4. That's a nice universal shape that you can pretty much pull anything out of. I'm just pulling it down a little bit just to make sure that nothing else is selected that I don't want selected. Alright, let's go to Extrude command. I'm going to bevel it in slightly, like so, just slightly. Okay. And now I'm going to bevel it again, slightly. There it is. I'm going to take that upwards. Go to my W, rotate this upwards, bring it in like so. So we're trying to create it, make it look like it's actually the handle's going inside an embedded area. Hit the R command just to pull these out just slightly. I didn't want them beveled in quite that much. Alright, go to my W, shift, pull it down. You see where we're going with this? Okay. So we're looking at the shape of the handle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it thin here. Hit the R key. And I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. Right about like this. And it's going to come out this way. Now, hit the E key, not the E key, but the W. Hold my shift key down, pull it on out. And then right about there, hitting the R key, rotating it up, it comes out just a little bit. We're getting there. Okay, let's pull. Oops. Okay, I made it a little too small because of my view here. Not a problem. What we're going to do is this. We're going to go select some edges. Okay, and we can select some of these right about in here. But we'll see. Go to the edge. Okay. And let's go ahead and grab my selection tool. And how about if I go grab, okay, if we go to the other view, let's go to the side view here. And I'm going to pull all these these edges over to match the side of that. So hit the F key, or let's go ahead and zoom in closer. I think you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go grab all of this right there. Okay. Now this should do it. So I'm going to hold my command key to get rid of this one there. W for the move. This should move. This should do it. Yeah. Yep. Click it in a little bit. I'm going to have to deselect the polygon that's closer in here. Alright. And that's this little piece here. And actually, let's go to the perspective view just to make darn sure. Right, that's exactly what I thought. Okay. Go back to the side view. And let's select out, control this piece here. Good. Okay. From here, go to my W, and let's just move that whole shape like so. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. So I'm thinking it can be a little bit thicker. And just modeling, just assessing the model here, it looks like this whole section can probably come forward just slightly. So let's go ahead and continue to work with our edges here. Let's go get our selection tool. And let's go select all of these, okay? I'm holding down the shift key, and I'm going to grab all these right there. Okay, I'm going to deselect with the control key these right here in the middle. Okay, shift key, I want to make sure I have these targeted. And chances are, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this whole section here. It's going to make it a lot easier. Pull this on down. Actually, let's pull this forward a little bit more so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to deselect all of this here. So I'm thinking of let's actually go over and target the polygon. So I'm gonna go grab this here. Let's see, can we grab these here? There's my selection. Okay. And I'm looking at these polys right about in here. Just select all of this here, and then including this face. Let's make sure I'm in my components mode. I am. Okay. And we're going to, now so far I've got all of these. Let's go ahead and go to the top view. Just fill this in with the side view, that is. Let's target this here. And what I want is all of this. Target it. Yeah, that worked pretty well. W, and just move that all over like this. There we go. So I can easily modify this section. That brings my handle. So that's it. That's that. If you make the mistake of not making the handle wide enough, that's a quick little way of solving it. Let's go take a look at the perspective view. It's getting close, and bring it on down. Yep, not bad. That's looking pretty good. So probably bring the head out a little bit, but that's okay. You guys get the point. All right, let's go ahead and continue to finish this handle. Let's rotate this upwards, and let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and target these. Get out of the image plane there, and let's go select their face. Make sure I don't have anything else selected that I'm not paying attention to. Let's go to our E key, not E key, but W for I keep saying E because E is extrude and light wave. So you work in one program for so long. I'm going to bring this down. Go over here to my R key. Bring it in slightly like so. Okay. Bring it on back. And now we're going to bring it down and up again. I'm going to hit my W again. Hit my shift. Pull it on out. Say right about there. Let's say right about here. R, pull it out a little bit. See, pretty easy. Very, very easy. It's just a matter of just being patient. We're making simple shapes. We're going to extrude this out again. I'm going to go back to my W, shift, pull that on out. Take it right about there. R for our scale. Let's bring it up like so. Let's go ahead and hit the F key. It fills in with this little section here. I'm going to pull it back a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and bring it on down the bottom. We're ready for that. Our W. Holding down my shift and extrude it all the way down. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a scale. Bring it a little slider, slightly bigger. There it is. Okay. Now I want to give a little bevel on the end of that handle there. In fact, I think what we can also do is pull it down just a little bit. Now let's give it a bevel. So how about if we go ahead and just extrude it on out here. and go ahead and give it just a scale in. All right. And let's scale it in again, so do another extrude. So W, shift, pull it out slightly, R, and just pull it in like so. W for our move. And I think I would prefer this to be dead center, vertex mode. Target that, put it in the center. I didn't worry about it before because it was just the edges on the outside looked fine. They were positioned fine. I figured I would just correct it at the very end. There it is. Alright, let's turn off the X-ray view. There it is. Don't worry about texturing right now. I really want you guys to focus on modeling. Okay, let's deselect everything. Hit the 3 key on the keyboard. There we go. Probably pull this neck out a little bit more. Kind of get in here. Pull this neck out. It can probably use even some more polys in there, I would say. We can add another loop. Alright. Alright, let's go over to 1. Go back to this mode. Let's go ahead and pull this off first. Let's go to the side view. And how about if we go grab the faces? Let's go to our selection. And let's just grab these guys right here in front. There. I want to get rid of this one in the back. So let's go ahead and fit this to full view. Control. Grab all this. Okay, that's good. Done. Now, we need to add another loop in here, but that's okay. What we can do is just go ahead and hit the move tool and hold the shift key down, and that would automatically do it for us. Because we're extruding it out. Same concept. Make it a little bit more. I'm thinking the head needs to be bigger. That's my guess here. So let's go back and select it again. Hold the control key. And I accidentally selected those. I didn't mean to. Alright. So I'm going to make it just slightly bigger. So let's hit the R key and just pull that out like so. Okay. And I want to resize it, but I don't want it to go backwards back here. I don't want it to resize backwards. So hold your D key on your keyboard. D allows you to reposition your 3D widget where you're going to actually scale from this point. Release your D key, and now we can go and restrict it. See what we're doing? We're moving in a direction where we really want it to go. Make it a little bigger. Okay, that looks great. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the A. Fit it all into view. Let's go take a look in perspective view. Hit the A. Fit it into view. That's much better. That's much better. So you see how simple this is? Very simple shapes, but very few polygons. You want to do your modeling with very few polygons. It's going to give you the cleaner result, and it's going to give you a greater capability of adding in more detail later on. Remember, we got the Subdivision Surfaces mode, which is your 3 key, and then we're going to go back to the standard polys, or the hard edge polys. You hit your number 1. So number 1, the 2 odd numbers. Subdivision Surfaces, and number 1. Okay, so what I'd like you to do for homework is I want you to model 3 household objects. Keep it simple. Don't worry about texturing them at this point. I'd rather for you to concentrate on getting some nice clean surfaces and nice clean models. We'll worry about adding textures and beautiful details of that sort later on. So I want you to find 3 household objects other than a wine glass and other than a hammer that I used in this tutorial. So I don't want you recreating what I did. I want you to find something around the house and recreate with those. Okay? And 5 objects, and that's going to be due coming up next week. Okay? Alright, hopefully this tutorial is helpful, and hopefully you'll enjoy the process. I mean, I find 3D modeling fascinating, and I think, I hope you guys will as well. The better you get, the more fascinating it's going to become, because then you can start creating some pretty interesting, dynamic, sophisticated, compelling objects, so to speak. Characters and monsters and dragons and of sort. But right now we're going to stick with some very simple stuff, okay? And then we're going to learn how to become more sophisticated. We're going to learn how to start going toward more organic. And even a combination of organic and hard edge. How do we deal with that situation? But that's all coming up. But for now, find something around the house. Whatever you choose, keep it simple. It could be a lipstick case or a box, a mirror. Just keep it simple. All right. Looking forward to seeing your results. 5 objects. And I will put an assignment sheet up shortly. But for now, you have the videos. Go to work. And looking forward to seeing the results.